could not be an ordinary child, but instead she'd been silent. Jessica was used to keeping silent by now. That was why she was glad her sister was a doctor. When it was time, they had decided, the baby would be born in this house. This was the house Jessica had first called home, 28 years ago, the first home she'd known. This was the house Jessica had chosen as her sanctuary 8 months ago, after the bad time, when her dreams had melted and her heart had died. Jessica's husband and daughter were gone, and a big part of her had gone with them. Her husband David had simply disappeared, leaving only questions and breath-stealing heartache behind. And poor Kira, her little girl, was buried in a pitifully small plot at Miami Gardens Cemetery, 5 miles away, beside the grandfather she had been born too late to meet. Kira Alexis Wolde had gone home to Christ, it said, on the granite headstone that marked her 5 years on this earth. Jessica's mother had chosen that inscription because soon after Jessica had discovered her child was dead, that in fact, her husband had killed her, Jessica hadn't been able to make many decisions for herself. For hours on end, she had only listened, wondering, to the sound of her own beating heart. But she'd made a decision about her new baby. Her baby wouldn't come into the world in a hospital, where both of them would be subjected to tests. Above all, Jessica was afraid of what the doctors would find if they examined their blood. There couldn't be any tests. Not ever. She and her baby would be safe with her mother and sister, Jessica knew, and she wondered if this might be the only safe place for them in all the world. For the first time, and as long as Jessica could bear to remember, everything was exactly the way it should be. Except for the pain. She hadn't expected so much pain. "God damn it," Jessica said, screaming a curse almost foreign to her lips. That last stab of paralyzing pressure had blotted her reluctance to use the Lord's name in vain, despite all recent indications that God's touch was very, very real. Too real sometimes. "Jessica, please," her mother said, her brow in a knot. Jessica tried to push her pain away, tried to think of anything else. She suddenly heard the theme music for the football game, playing from the living room, too loudly. The music enthralled her, because her brain was begging for distraction, and her muscles relaxed. "Concentrate, Jessica, you have to push," Alex said. The Dolphins against the Patriots, the television was trumpeting. Jessica couldn't remember what city the Patriots were from, but the squall of celebration made it sound as if they were battling for possession of the world. She caught a glimpse of herself, in the full-length mirror across the room in her closet door, still bearing the Y100 radio bumper sticker she'd loyally pasted across the top 15 years ago. For a moment, she was startled to realize she was no longer the same 8th grader she'd been then. The wiry pigtails were gone, replaced by her mussed crown of short-bobbed hair, glistening with perspiration. And her eyes were wild and scared, a way they'd never been then, or ever, before this awful year. The room seemed to be pulling away from her sight, as if she were sinking. Maybe it was all just a dream, she thought, and she felt her chest swell with weak hope. "Hon, are you focusing? You better focus here. Don't make me call 911 and drag you to the hospital. You don't want that, do you? Then focus. We're almost there," Alex said. Because of the voice's urging, and that was all it was to Jessica at this point, a lone, disassociated voice, Jessica pulled her mind back to the pain. She shrieked, hoarse. She felt as if she were pushing a ball of flames through her insides, and she wanted it gone. Her muscles heaved with their own mind, straining so furiously she believed she might fling herself from the bed. "Almost, almost, almost. One more time. One more." Then all of the sound was stolen from the room. Just silence. Jessica saw her sister's lips moving, and her mother exhaling slowly, her mole-dotted cheeks puffing because she was nervous, but it was all in a hush.